This is a best of 3 in this case, and our first 4 bans go in, with our first pick being Oregon, Jesse.
No surprises on Oregon. This is FaZe's most played map through their Stage 1 domestic competition with a 4-0 record, taking out E1, MIBR, Liquid, and Furia in the span of just 11 days. It's been common from Talon as well. Back last year, a win and a loss through Atlanta, but they've not played it too much since.
The one thing I will say is it's the map they did take down BDS on yesterday, though, so it's one that they will feel confident on, even if it is FaZe's map pick. Moving us through to the next map, this will be Talon's map pick. We're going to go to Consulate, and I think maybe this one's a little bit of a curious one. It is maybe one where, because they played it a couple of times in the regular stage in terms of career, but didn't actually do too well. So it might be one where Fabian keeps talking to me, actually, and he keeps saying, Jack, you keep saying we've got a small map pool. We don't have a small map pool. And I think this is maybe a map that PSG Talon have reworked a little bit and are now going fresh on.
We all know it's not about the size of the map pool, it's what you do with it. Finally, our last map in this best of 3 will have it Nighthaven Labs. That's a change of pace here.
Yeah, this is the map where, if you'll remember, FaZe Clan lost their World Championship title, throwing a 6-1 lead against W7M. They did find the rematch. This stage against Furia, they did win it that time. So it's clearly a map that FaZe like to go on. It's a map that when the stakes are the highest, FaZe Clan tends to go here to Nighthaven Labs. For Talon, you know, it's been a permaban in their past, but they've started to play it this season with back-to-back matches and very successful matches at that domestically.
Jack, this seems like a lot to cover for Talon specifically in this game. What must they do, other than the opening picks that you mentioned statistically, Jesse, here, that can really make things work against a team as outrageously tough as FaZe?
I think just do what they did yesterday against BDS. And what they did yesterday against BDS was everything that made sense. They kept things simple. They played as a team, and they played as one unit. I think it's a similar situation where Talon are going to have to be excellent today, and FaZe are going to have to be completely off it if Talon win. They're in best of 3 scenarios now as well, which means over a best of 3, you generally see the better team winning, just as we just saw.
Yeah.
But they're just going to have to, I would say, hope FaZe have a bad day, but not make any mistakes themselves. That's key, you know, and that comes through in the entries, as you were saying, Jesse, as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at 2 players in specific on Talon. I'm looking at Soldier and I'm looking at Royboy.
Yep.
Those 2 players combined make up for 50% of the entry engagements that Talon take throughout this tournament. They've been so key. Soldier's positive on those entries, 7 and 5. Royboy's been a little bit tighter, 3 and 6. They're going to be going up against Cyber on most of those entries, who himself has a 35% entry participation. They need to shut him down. If Cyber has a life game like he did yesterday, I just don't see it happening.
There's a lot for us to explore through this game. A real challenge now, one after the other fresh. And Jesse, thank you so much. Our casters await for Oregon, so let's toss it to Pengu, Intero, and Alfama.
We have stolen one of your own and brought them over to us. We wanted to work with Alfama for quite a while. We saw your vibe from across the bar and we wanted to bring you in here.
That's very kind of you to bring the friendship for a Paris Saint-Germain game.
Oh, nice.
It's normal. I need just to watch Paris play, right?
Yeah.
This is a big matchup for both of these teams, but one of the storylines that we've seen throughout this entire event has been the dominance of APAC, a region that has received quite a verbal bruising over the last year or so for falling short of expectations. And when you talk about things like how many people are we bringing, what teams are we bringing to the major, how many regional spots do you get, it's a nice thing to see a resurgence from APAC. I know, Nick, you want to talk about PSG Talon. Whoa. Let's talk about FaZe Clan first. What are the win conditions for FaZe here?
I think so far they need to be able to not do the same thing that BDS did yesterday, which is leaving too many holes for PSG Talon to exploit. Many times, actually, in the first steps of the rounds, they were hitting everything. And then they were leaving these big gaps where Misa or Soldier could go aggressive, get a multi-kill. I just need to see them more grouped and, yeah, strategically manage that execution the right way.
From my side, I guess, if I'm the PSG man, adaptation. FaZe Clan, they are a team with so many strats, with so much adaptability. If PSG Talon don't have the strat book depth, the understanding in the server, in every single round, FaZe Clan can steal rounds on the defensive side on all 3 maps, and that can really limit PSG's attacking side when they get there.
One thing to immediately notice on your screen is a blitz ban. Monty was one of the top banned operators for attackers through much of the regular stages, but now we've slowly seen the blitz ban numbers tick upwards. What is it about this operator in particular that's receiving the ire of these teams versus a Monty?
I think FaZe have done their homework because you don't typically ban Blitz all that much in Oregon these days, I would say. But if you watch Korea domestically in Stage 1, you know Soldier's been popping off on Blitz multiple times so far. It became a stable ban in Korea, and if FaZe look far enough back, they can see that was a problem, we'll ban it too.
And it's actually something that we've noticed before, we've spoken into before, is that Korea were actually quite late to the meta. But I think that right now the meta is a lot around the shields because they get you in the control of the map really quickly. And that's been an issue recently, is the aggression from the defenders to prevent you from getting in the building. The shields actually solved that issue, and it's been a real big crutch for everyone. It's either you play the shields, either you play the Ying or the Capitao to get these strong positions and remove these guys from here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Damwon in Korea, actually, they played double shield and Deimos in Consulate. We've seen, I think G2 played a triple shield on here in their very early exit in phase 1 of the major. And I think you're right, the shields rework have been very effective, and almost every single team in region have picked up on it relatively quickly. But the Blitz being banned does leave Monty open, and sure, I think most teams these days, they can bring out the Monty operator, but Vidiking is one of those people that is excellent on that particular operator, so FaZe, if they want to, they could flex onto Monty.
I would argue that Vidiking is actually good on every utility-based operator.
That's a good take.
That's the best thing with him, that actually, I was praising him before when he arrived, you know, after this SI with FaZe, you know, the SI in 2023.
Yeah.
His ability to call and at the same time bring utility-based operators, drop frags, but at the same time use his utility to remove strong positions. It's so amazing to see. And whether he's on Monty or on Grim, he can do the same job, but actually with a gun up.
Oregon's the second most played map so far through this event. It's tied actually with Nighthaven Labs at 8 plays. And obviously these are numbers from this morning. It is a very defender-sided map, much to the surprise of nobody. Of all the rounds played, 70% of those rounds have been won by the defenders. That is an incredible number when you go to think about it. There isn't a single attacker-sided bomb site. It is a very heavy 3-site rotation. Kitchen and dining has been played a single time. That is it. The rotation typically goes laundry or dorms first. The other one will go second, and then the tertiary will be meeting hall and kitchen. And the lowest win rate is 63% for the defenders, which is still a hard thing to overcome. So for FaZe Clan, 2 rounds, probably good. 3 rounds, excellent on this map, starting on attack.
Whenever I watch Oregon Alpha, I have this thing in my mind where, how do you track how well a team is doing? If you reach all the hatches between 130 seconds and 145 seconds, you are right on track. You're doing pretty good.
Yep.
FaZe, they got it done at like 145, 150, and now they're already contesting Soldier on Freezer.
The real big win condition every time here is how do you execute in last minute. That's the big thing, right? You have 5 different enter points, right? The 3 hatches, then you have the stairs, you have blue, you have freezer, you have laundry, all of these different pressure points. The real key is to be able, if you want to go for a back take here, to get rid of Misa with the Warden in Pillars. He was instrumental yesterday against BDS, playing in the hallway, playing in Pillar, and the reason for this is, from this hallway, you can actually cover and retrade all of your teammates in all of the key areas. Laundry, freezer, Pillar, the hatch drop, even blue. So right now, take a look at him. He's always in the hallway here.
Yeah.
There were a couple forces set up from FaZe Clan looking for a bunker take to go through blue. They have all peeled off now. So instead, the focus is going to be on that E-box hatch. It's going to be on freezer, maybe even over towards the front. But just as I say that, they're now actually just moving their forces around yet again. Souls will walk in the diffuser for this blue take. And in the final 30 seconds, they are inches away from being able to strike.
It's going to be Bees, Candelas out, then a 3-2-1 countdown, and FaZe will follow up. There's smoke us up to the 9 now, so play like 5v5.
Handy's made his way inside the bomb site, though. The only kill at this point for PSG Talon's Roy Boy. On the ground, Handy didn't look down enough. The Warden that you said was going to be an issue, dispatched by Cyber, who pulls out the sidearm on the Ash and gets the final 2 kills. You said, how do you attack in the final minute? I think that's a pretty good example of how to pull it off.
It's actually really well played to focus all of the utility onto blue, use the Ying to bait everyone, and then at the same time, the 2 real key players here. Handy dropping with the buck, and then Cyber with the backstab from the Ash. That's actually 2 guys removing all of the anchors, because all of the anchors were too focused on the execute.
Yeah.
Perfect trap.
That's it. You really had to like... And this is why I think the opening kill is so important. If you're on defense, can peek up the staircase, tower, etc., and get 1 peek onto the attackers, it's just 1 less direction they can attack you from. But if you get that 5v5 on the base and bomb site, that's when good attacking teams, which FaZe they very much are, they can find an opening somewhere, because defenders have to cover so many different areas, and you don't know where they're attacking from, because you don't really play Valkyrie all that often on that basement bomb site.
Yeah, that 1v1 in freezer with Cyber was really the key to the bomb site, I think. When you remove that player, when everything is open up, then all of the defenders have their back turned towards the utility. Here it was in blue. At this point, it's really easy to just finish the execute and then get rid of everyone else by just crouching and collapsing on the pillar.
And you called it perfectly. You said, those key operators, Shields, it can be Capital, Graham, Ying, etc. Usually we see attackers bring out 2 operators, I would say, on average. That is one of those key operators to break apart the bomb site. And that will be a mixture of the Ying, the Capital, and the Grim on Oregon. Or you could do the Muncie, for example. Whereas in defense, we look at those meta operators, Solus, which is banned out, Asami, which is in play, and Fenrir that's in play to counteract that as well. Bit of a cat and mouse game here. If you bring out the Mirror, for example, you might want to bring in Ashe to counter that on the attack inside. FaZe didn't do it this time around, but they got ranged soft, or hard destruction rather, in the ace.
Yeah, it's a complete different lineup. They want to take it methodical here. They want to take tower control. They want to have a little bit of back pressure here. Once they get that control, they will push Fiatic, and I'm assuming they will go for a master stake because they bring the ace. The ace is useless if you go for a big win to take here.
Soldiers entrenched now at the top of T3 under fire. Grenades going out, flashes going out, dodging bullets. Was that movie called Wanted, where you can bend bullets with your mind? Soldier, a big fan of that, now swinging for the fences as he's lost the Keepa barriers, but a lot of gadgetry used by FaZe Clan to deal with this single player, and they haven't found any success just yet. Cyber and Soldier continuing to tussle, all at
Oh my god!
And he hits it with the Deagle, waiting patiently, but Handy hasn't done much other than hold this angle.
I mean, buying a lot of time and utility right now, I'd say this is a worthy death for Soldier. I mean, half down has been burned so far.
He's got completely frozen the attack right now.
Yeah.
One of the things we pointed out, they aren't using utility-based operators like Capto to remove it. That's the issue here.
How does
they cleaned him off! Roy Boy swung the window, so now Soldier can move along.
How does he get away from that? Absolutely stunning. I'm puzzled.
I mean, that could be round winning potential right there, right? You burn grenades, flashbangs, you get 2 kills around it in FaZe. It looked like they had a really good read on how they wanted to clear it, but as you said, Alphama, no Capital. That could have simplified that entire thing with 1 firebolt.
Utility is your shortcut to problem solving that player all the way above here. But the problem is all you had was nades. Lion maybe, yeah, but what happens if he doesn't move? You don't have Capto, you don't have Ying, you have nothing to blind that player or actually rappel in and get rid of him. That was the issue here.
Puzzling decision by FaZe, and maybe not the right utility to deal with him. It has been admittedly quite a while since we saw an Azami use that much of her gadgetry just on tower by herself. Typically, you see a Frost go up there, maybe even a Wamai back in the olden days. Unfortunately for FaZe, they just spent way too much time, didn't find much success, and now it's all up to Vidaking in a 1v4 with 30 seconds remaining. This is a bomb site that does not typically work for you if you're down in numbers. So what do? Well, try to find something inside of Master Bedroom, but really good patience right now from PSG Talon. I'm not sure if Vidaking is aware that he got it down onto Ryder. It seems that he might have a suspicion, but the Nitro Cell from Roy Boy will equalize. A great first round from FaZe, answered back by an excellent round by PSG.
Yeah, this is something I like to see from PSG is every time they enter a round, they have a clear win condition in mind, and they commit to it. And the way they played, yes, obviously Soldier played it really well upstairs, but you see how actually he had, and he got the support from everyone else, to Roy Boy to actually escape. This is something I like to see because whenever they have the right setup, they actually play into it the right way. The only thing I'm worried about is what happens if the win condition doesn't work and they need to adapt.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
That's a big question, right? The thing about the quote-unquote worst teams or worst regions is that they might understand the how, like what they should do in that round, but not the why they should be doing it. So they say, okay, we play a guy in big tower, that's what they're gonna do, but understanding that you gotta help him if he asks for it and do it correctly, that can be difficult to understand in a greater level of the game from a top-down level. And they showed us in that round, they do understand it.
I think generally speaking, from playing against teams in Korea when I was in Fnatic, I was noticing this. I was noticing this issue, this consistent issue from Korean teams. They would be stealing strats from Europe or NA or LATAM. They would be applying them, but they would never really understand their full variety of a strat. Generally, you've got a core, and then depending of the bans or depending of the playstyle of your opponent, you can just switch a couple of operators, switch the way you play it. And Korean teams usually didn't understand that. And I think ever since Fabian came into play, and he added that strategy depth to it, I think they finally understand all the variations that are possible, and they're starting to really grasp what is this mid-round adaptations.
No, I agree with you. You see for PSG Talon, they started basement, they lost it, but it was a smoke on Frieza staircase. Now there's a small adaptation on their side. They lacked intel, right? Now they got the Valkyrie, they got the Clash. All of a sudden, they have more information to work with, and they're also challenging FaZe's adaptability to counter this.
Nobody ever doubted the mechanical aim of these APAC teams. The thing that we always pointed our fingers at was strategy, the depth, right?
Yep.
Go all the way back to that old Cloud9 team. They had incredible aimers, and they would almost always get the first pick, then they'd have no idea what to do with it. The structure that has been brought over to PSG Talon has elevated their game faster than almost any other team we've seen at this tournament. And they have gone from being a team that wasn't even really doing much at international events, if they even qualified at all, suddenly being on the precipice of qualifying for the playoffs. And of course, the winner of this matchup goes to the main stage, joining a litany of teams that have already qualified for Friday's quarterfinals.
I love to see this adaptation, like you mentioned. The real key to the bomb site here was the backstab. The backstab from the Ash, the backstab from the Buck. They've brought Legion, the Clash, and the Fenrir. All three that are able to completely stop any rush like this. Actually, I believe also they were trying to peel off and burn a little bit more time upstairs. Not give enough space to FaZe to set up that execute. So far, I would say it works so-so. It's 1 minute 30, around the same amount of time where they opened the hatches in the first round.
But meeting hatch only just now is getting opened up, so about 25 seconds of difference, which doesn't seem like a lot, right? But let's be honest, 25 seconds in a round like this where every single second matters is absolutely massive, especially because Clash will further slow down the round. So this could be a factor in a minute's time if FaZe don't start going for this soon.
Yeah, I was even going to argue that. I was going to say 25 seconds is actually, it's super huge, especially at this level for execute, and they have Clash on top of it. And they have the Go Mines, and they have the Fenrir.
And there's no Kamatao, you know?
Yeah, still no utility-based operators here.
Potentially 2 rounds in a row where FaZe has doomed themselves with the lineup that they bring.
I think the Ying might be enough if they position it perfectly.
Could be.
But right now, he needs to rotate, I think. On tower stairs, he won't achieve anything. I think the clear goal here is to have a front take. Maybe the Ying is staying the back stairs to bait them, to bait that execute. I think that's what happened.
Misa's now tucked into the corner with 30 seconds left to go in the round. The advance slowed down in Freezer by those F-Knots. Cyber looking for a huge opening. He spots the Clash first. That's good information for FaZe Clan. To follow up, damage is being done to JLT. Soldier the very first kill. Cyber with the pistol out again, but he will only get one. FaZe Clan coming out ahead in the ensuing fight. But Roy Boy back! Leaving Handy as the last in a 1v2. Flashes to go out, very limited time. Sees the Valkyrie Soldier looking the wrong way, and Handy clutches in an unthinkable position. Both players from PSG Talon looking in the wrong direction. FaZe Clan wins the round, but boy, oh boy, was it close.
Valkyrie and Clash and the Mirror, and yet in the 2v1 you look the wrong way? You have so much information, at least you would think that they would have so much information.
Yeah, that goes to show inexperience usually, right?
Exactly.
In these very last moments when you're the best team in the world, usually that's when you're the one that stepped it up, that's the moment where you close the round. With a young team with PSG Talon, this kind of stuff can happen. It's actually, it's a poor reward because I think they played this really well. I think the Clash, especially Misa here again, in that corner was instrumental. Yeah. Roy Boy coming in after Misa died, getting a double trade was key. I think they played it the right way strategically. It's too bad that they just lost the 2v1. He just had to run away, to be honest. I don't think Handy could have planned it here.
No, I have this thing that I whenever I play Siege and Ranked mode, I have this called sacrifice play in 2v1s. If there's like 10 seconds left, one guy can run quite far away, have the one-on-one on side. If that person on side dies, he has to plant with like 4 or 5 seconds left. The second guy should have a good chance at winning that round. But again, as you mentioned, experience. Are they going to make that call out? Is that what they normally do back in Korea? Probably not. This is still a very new roster for PSG Talon. I think for Fabian, the real test isn't necessarily how far you can make it here, because I think they've beaten most people's expectations. It's what can you do in stage 2 and the next major, because then Fabian has had a proper time with the team. But beating BDS, for example, speaking to Parker's point about how many kills they can get, against BDS, Misa dropped 17 kills, 8 deaths. Against E1, Ryder dropped 20 kills and 10 deaths. So yeah, the APAC players, they can shoot back, but the micro decision making, they're a little bit behind.
Yeah, maybe with this also it points to say that maybe they need that one individual crazy pop-off to be able to beat these really big teams instead of having like a full group that's able to strategically, collectively outplay the best teams in the world. I'm not too sure. It's a great question. I think in general right now, strategically, I know it's 2-1. Strategically, I would say the first 3 rounds, they're playing it the right way. It's in these small moments that they're playing it one of the best teams in the world, and it shows, right? Whenever these moments come down to like 5 seconds left and Handy is in this position to turn that into a 2v1, 1v2, he's able to do it. That's fine. I think they just need to maybe commit to what they're doing because it seems to work. It's just calm down the communication in the late round.
Calm it down. That's the thing, when it gets really stressy, things can get repeated, they can get yelled at, people go, I don't actually understand what's happening right now. and then again, like FaZe have, like, the core of this team have been together for such a long time, they can probably play half these rounds without much communication and still perform really well because they know what each and every single player needs to do because they've done it so many times already and they all have such a high understanding of the game.
But before this match was started, we talked about the win conditions of Oregon's sides. With the way that the defenders play and the benefit they have from the map working in their favor, 2 rounds for FaZe Clan on attack is good. 3 rounds is outstanding. FaZe is already there. So it's their map. You expect them to do well. They've had some stumbles, and these rounds have been closer than maybe they want them to be. But that's what makes good teams like FaZe Clan so great, is that they're always close to their competition. And while PSG Talon has been surprising, FaZe Clan's FaZe Clan. They're one of the best teams in the world. You expect this.
Yeah, and they're already in a really good position this round to actually get that 3rd round on the board. And if you said it right, huh? If they get that 3rd attacker round, they're in a really good position to close off the map. But right now, they've got all the vert onto Kitchen. The next step clear here is to go down the white stairs, get that dining control, and execute Kitchen. Cyber already is in meeting, so close to Kitchen door, sorry. So this is the moment where they need to execute.
And Cyber's in, not the person you usually expect to be getting the diffuser down, but if it works, it works. Misa from far enough back, pushing up. Can he stop Cyber? No. He manages to get the kill, but not before the diffuser goes down, breathing in some of his teammates' own gas. Now the control from above, read into by Vidaking, playing on those utility operators, like you said, so successfully, but a good gun is a good gun, irrespective of who it is. Soldier and Misa very low on HP, Royboy taking some damage as well. Meanwhile, on the side of FaZe, they've got the diffuser going and they are all at full HP. Oh. Particularly dangerous spot for Talon, but Soldier gets a nice kill. Misa traded off. Handy from above. Royboy hopped onto the diffuser. He has plenty of time. KDS needs to shut him down and he should be able to get there in time. He will do just that. Final 3 kills break in favor of FaZe. PSG Talon spent way too much time on that top floor, and before they knew it, the round was over.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they gave so much space to FaZe. FaZe actually got that vertical control almost for free. There was no opening engagement, no fight from Talon from this. At the moment you get all the vertical control, you saw they had the Nomad for the retakes. They can open all the vert, and then they just need to get their planter into Kitchen. And again, I think he was uncontested. Cyber didn't have a single gunfight to go and plant. They let him plant for free. I'm not too sure this was the plan of Fabian here, to give all of this space for free to FaZe.
I think the only thing I can think of, at least, looking at it, was maybe that PSG Talon thought the timing would be a little bit different because FaZe Clan, they still had like 30 or so seconds to work with. Maybe they would take 10 seconds longer, right? We saw JLT and Ryder go for a double flank upstairs from Armory and from Attic. Had they been there a little bit quicker, maybe that could change things around. We saw Misa sprinting to the bomb side across the verticality, but also mistimed. I think FaZe simply were too quick in this round for what Talon expected of them.
It's something that I actually love to do when I was the IGL with the diffusers. Whenever you see the bomb site open, you know your team is ready for the execute.
Go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Especially if you have 1 minute left. Nobody's expecting it.
Exactly. Every player has this idea that, okay, the enemy's gonna do the roam clear, the setup, they're gonna drone everything, they're gonna get fully ready, then they're gonna go. So you have in your mind an idea of when something's gonna happen. If an enemy does it 10, 20, 30 seconds quicker than that, you're gonna be like, what? They're going right now. Why are they going right now? I'm not ready for this.
It got a little bit too close for comfort still.
It did get a little bit close.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. So they get the top floor control. They have the Nomad. Actually, Vitakin gets a double kill from just holding the flanks. Yet he comes into a 2v2. For a world-class team, and I think it really shows to FaZe records right now. Like it's been really slumpy this major, right? It's been they lost 3-7 to Secret, then they managed to beat Liquid 7-5, and then it was 8-7 against Beast Coast. Everything is a bit too close for comfort, and it's surprising because they were unbeaten in Brazil completely, and now they look slumpy a bit.
Fair to say that this event has some of the most upsets that we've seen at an international event in quite some time. Are we in agreement on that?
Yes, predictions are tough.
I would say 100%. I was actually talking to Consulate yesterday after he was eliminated, and he was telling me, you know what, Alfama, I'm super disappointed because I think this was one of the majors where everybody is beatable. I don't even think Furia is as dominant as last year. I think overall, like, yes, Secret is looking really good, but in general, all of the bigger favorites, BDS, look at them. They had to be
1 round away from almost getting eliminated, by the way.
So this is the biggest thing for me at this major is I love it because post-SI, so many shuffles, so many teams have the time to rebuild. The lower teams had time to actually take some lead time on the bigger teams. And this is where we have arrived in a major that everything is unpredictable. And I just live for it. I'm here for it.
Do we think that the scope changes are a huge part of that? slowing teams down, making them not as able to take such quick gunplays. Do you think that had maybe more of an impact than we expected when they changed around the sight housings and the scopes and the slow ADS speeds? Or do you think there's something more to it?
I think it's kind of like Alpha was saying, like it's bridged the gap where like the better teams and better players that could just like be in your face aggressive, like Fury for example, just storming it in gunfights, they suffer a little bit, and the worst teams can benefit a bit more because they just hold their gun up already. So maybe bridging the gap a little bit on my end, yeah.
Yeah, I think overall it gives more space to the team that were more methodical and were more playing around the utility. This is why you see such a meta around Shields, around Captao, around Grim, around all the operators that are gonna put you in a favorable gunfight. Because teams like Furia that used to play the game, let's be real, a bit like a TDM.
They just run at you.
They just run at you, and they were un-ADS most of the time, and they had the time to actually quickly ADS and headshot you. That just doesn't happen anymore. So they're forced into playing into a more methodical siege. And I'm also here for it. That's my type of siege.
Exactly. Like, we're both old school gamers, Alpha, right? Like, we played back when you had one single heart breach, for example, and if Firma got spawn peaked, you lose the round. Like, what can you do about it? Nowadays, you have so many tools at your disposal. There are so many different things to keep in mind. Like, you have a checkbox when you play the game. I gotta do this correctly. If there's this operator, I gotta be worried about this specific instance. And right now, you have to keep 1,000 different things in your mind every single round, especially on the turtle bomb side, like Basement on Oregon.
Execute's about to unfold in front of our eyes. 45 seconds remaining. Yet another attempt on defense of this downstairs bomb site for PSG Talon. Everybody's still alive at this point. Maybe a bit of a slower pace here for this FaZe team.
It's going to happen right now. This is it.
And off to the races, right as you say that. Vidaking starts off the killing, handing off far removed. Misa to fall next. Right now, though, kill feed entirely orange. Souls in a 1v2, ejecting the Mira. 15 seconds remaining. Around Souls will go now, looking into that supply closet. Another mirror window blocking his line of sight. A game of keep away from PSG Talon. Souls does not hold the diffuser. He needs both these kills. He almost found it! If he looked the other direction, it would have been a 1v1 against Ryder. He chose the laundry portion instead of looking to his right by the wall, and PSG Talon win the downstairs bomb site.
That execution was a bit offbeat. Let's be real. Let's be real. It took a bit more time. And the reason for this is actually, if you look at the way FaZe were set up, they did everything right for laundry execute. They charged the Mira, they opened the wall, everybody was ready. And I don't know who called it. I assume it's Viking. They were like, okay, there's no way we're going to be able to push this. So then they went around and they had a 5-man pitch from all the different entry points onto the bomb site. This is why, like, you had 2 coming from Freezer, 2 coming from laundry, and then 1 from the backside. The thing is, incredible gun free for the whole way. Again, PSG Talon showing that they have the individuals to shut them down, and untraded as well. FaZe, they used to be so good at trading these kills, and in the late round executes here, I just didn't see it.
Well, it didn't happen. And I think the big reason why it worked so well, despite FaZe losing, is that they sold the back take pretty well because the Ying was the flanker. You're thinking the flank operator is going to be like an IQ or an Ash or maybe the Heartbreacher who doesn't have any like value left in the round. But when it's the Ying that goes to the flank, you're thinking that's going to be the execute. That's what they're going to go for. It wasn't. It was still, as you said, 2 Freezer, 2 laundry. But when you don't get the opening kill and can build off of it with that momentum, it can get very hard to get back into the round on the attacking side when you lose those guns very early.
To be fair to them, it's one of the hardest bomb sites to attack in the game. Like, the natural crossfires that this basement defense offers are just too good. And PSG Talon, they're not taking any risk either. One of the things with this that we've mentioned multiple times with this basement is you have different entry points, right? And at the same time, if you have 5 guys alive, each one can cover it and get a trade. And I think that's exactly their game plan, and they just stuck to it. Again, they had a clear win condition, and they played by it.
Sometimes you just simply have to stay alive, I think, on defense, especially where having 5 players out in defense is all you need because you can cover more angles. This defensive setup, however, is more aggressive. It's what Misa playing instead of Master Bedroom. You can often open up that Master Bedroom closet as well with a rotation. FaZe, they've seen this 1,000 times in Brazil. They play this themselves as well. So this shouldn't be anything new for FaZe Clan. But they are just slowing down and rotating to Big Tower now, saying we don't want to deal with this setup. We're going to go to Big Tower instead.
Yeah, and we saw it went last time. Actually, even if they saw these setups fun enough, and just clearing that tier 3 guy 2 rounds ago took a lot more time than expected. Oh, and that was an aggression that I did not expect. One thing that we were mentioning, they always go and play passive, and now they're trying to play aggressive for some reason, especially when they have so much utility on the bomb side.
Managed to chase Soldier off of this position. I believe it was Soldier who was playing the Azami up there before, if memory serves me correctly. it is a little bit more common to see a Frost in that position because you always have to take a deliberate engagement. Do you shoot the Frost or do you shoot the Frost mats? Now, it's not a death sentence anymore because you can pick yourself back up, but you are hobbled and you are in a bad spot. This time around, you can get back up. You'll be okay. So usually you're going to want to take the engagement with the Frost instead. Final moment, though, and well, final minute, PSG Talon have lost Ryder. Other than that, FaZe Clan sitting quite pretty.
It's very interesting to have a look right now how they're going to problem solve this master setup. Because one is in Trophy right now, one is in Closet. They have a double crossfire with Misa. It's abusing the ring right now to suppress the fire and getting the control. Amazing play from Souls1 here.
Roy Boy just lets him go past, doesn't see him because he was blinded out, and Soul's taking no prisoners. Not good enough for a third kill. 2 will be all he can settle for, but Handy's there to pick up yet another, and KDS on the top of White Stairs will give the first half a rarity to the attackers on Oregon.
And that's more like a FaZe round, right? Where they get their first open kill, they're in full control, and they trade their bodies. Excellent there. Souls, support play with Diffuser, doesn't matter. Blind bind going, big balls, and just go for it.
Well, we've got a call-in from none other than Jesse J. Chick, who's wearing a beautiful sweater today.
Ooh.
Jesse, what would you like to talk about?
Thank you, Parker. I like your outfit as well. And I'm here to talk to you about PSG Talon because, as you know, this is their 4th game of the tournament, and it's their 3rd time playing on Oregon. So predictability is a huge concern for me. And I think that bottom floor attack is where we're really going to see the problems come into effect here. You see FaZe Clan banned out that blitz. That's because Soldier has an 80% pick rate of blitz attacking this bottom floor. That's a massive weakness, and they've seemingly exploited it. The one silver lining for PSG Talon, though, when he played the blitz 4 times out of these 5 attacks, he lost every single one of them. And the one time he didn't play the blitz, he played the Monty, and they actually won that round. So pay attention to what Soldier's playing on these bottom floor attacks. If he's playing the Monty, it's a good sign they're going back to basics. They're going back to the strats that work. If they're not playing the Monty, if they've got an actual gun in the hands of Soldier, that's a sign they're playing something new, and they might catch FaZe Clan off guard.
Well, thank you very much. And as you see on your screen, the Monty being brought in right away was something that I was going to make mention of when we saw the Blitz ban come in, but of course you got to wait until PSG Talon goes. Before we talk about this round in particular and recap the first half, it is worth noting that we do have a Bravo stream going right now. There is another qualification match on the other stream. Dark Zero is playing Bliss. The winner of that team will clinch a spot in the playoffs on Friday. Will it be the Aussies or will it be the North Americans? Alfama, I'm letting you start. Which one do you think is going to win?
I would love for Bliss to actually do it. I think they deserve it. And I think it's 2 very similar playstyles as well. Really around the team as a unit, really methodical. Really interesting for someone that loves strategic things to check.
And I agree. And I also think DC, with the more experience, they can go down 2-2 and then win the following game and make it later on. So I feel like they could both make it with that outcome.
Now, just because you want them to win doesn't mean they will.
No.
I think Bliss right now, with what they've showed against the best teams, they should beat Dark Zero.
I don't disagree with you with that. Oh.
Cyber takes out Misa, by the way. This is early action. We're 1 minute into the round, and already you've lost your Ash. Misa has been a tremendous player for PSG Talon throughout this entire event. Without him, without the Ash, how much more difficult does this get?
And already, you see a different win condition here on this basement. You see already a completely different playstyle from FaZe. Yeah. They go and they play aggressive. They don't leave any room for you. Even on a basement defense that's usually so strong where you need 5 players alive, they still will commit. Cyber will still come and hunt you just to burn a little bit more time and not let them set up properly for an execute.
And then they still have the burn also on the bomb side, right? You got the Goyo canisters, the mute jammers, toxic babes from smoke. They got Asami keep it barriers. You can slow down the bomb side as well later on. So they get opening pick. They are in your face. They're slowing down. Plus they have that late round utility as well. You'd almost have to say here, if PSG Talon don't find an opening pick before that execute, I don't know if they have enough manpower, especially with Monty as well, to have any real chance in this round unless FaZe they make a massive mistake.
Yeah, initially I think the win condition here with Misa on Ash was probably to open up that freezer wall, have the Monty come in and have a laundry freezer execute. That's now completely out of the window now that Misa is dead. How do you use the Monty here? To walk down the stairs? I'm not too sure how they will isolate the player on Pillar right now. They don't have any utility-based operator except for the Grim. I don't think that will be enough. And here is the execution coming.
EMP's going off in the drop from E-Box. The Monty must be slowed down. There goes Ryder. Soldier taking some damage as well. Souls watching over multiple angles. He doesn't need a crosshair to make this work. PSG Talon have not yet got a single pick. They downed Souls with no confirmation. The first defense for FaZe Clan is won flawlessly.
The big thing that stands out to me, Alphama, is that FaZe Clan, they think many steps ahead. They saw the Monty. They heard him at some point in the round. You know what they did? They had one player play Pillar, super normal. a second player, the Goyo, snuck below the tower staircase to step that crossfire. If Monty walks down, he dies. And if he doesn't, he just is stuck on the stairs.
What's even better with this player is that he's not only preventing or creating this 2v1 crossfire on the Monty if he walks down the stairs, but also if they choose to send the Monty into blue, they also have a 2v1 for it. And also if he drops the hatch, it's the same problem. And this is my biggest problem with Monty here. It's super effective to have this freezer push, but if the enemy team recognizes that and plays it the right way in defense, actually the Monty is useless for a pillar tech. Completely useless. That's exactly what happened here.
Well, I think you have to go that good old, you know, like you can with Blitz, you go into elbow from blue double door, you can isolate that player with the Monty, get something going, or as you said, go front take. But sometimes it can look easy, right? Because the big thing, FaZe didn't show their player position, so it looked pretty easy. They had those mute jammers, they were aggressively peeking those drones, so Monty thought it's clear. It actually doesn't look all too bad until it is really terrible. Toxic Bait came out, double swing, and FaZe. They just have this thing where they're making an APAC team look like they're an APAC team on the attacking side because it is that much more difficult when there's no gaps for you to abuse.
It was one of the things that we pointed out. It's very clear whenever they have a plan that they're going to stick to it, but here they should have recognized that there is no way they're going to be able to win this. If you drone that guy playing TARP, you know that your Monty is going to get into the crossfire. You got to rotate, but they didn't call it. And that's my biggest worry here again. If FaZe just plays default and just a little bit try to be aggressive, to be disruptive, to get one kill, that's it. I don't think PSG has the answer.
It's also why I like this lineup though. You got somebody like the Nomad to lock things down, Deimos to try and play for those early engagements, because if FaZe is gonna challenge you on the 1v1s, play those operators that can challenge them right back with clean information. Deimos strikers can do that.
While the teams are getting set up for this 8th round, we do have another team joining the quarterfinals on Friday.
Okay.
You saw the two teams yesterday qualify, Secret and Furia. Well, guess what? M80 has guaranteed themselves a spot. They defeated Bleed, 2-0. So another APAC team gets very close, but not close enough. Be interested to see, because we didn't get to watch that actual matchup, what's going on over there. So, hey, you've got one team from Brazil, you've got one team from Europe, you got one team from all over the world.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you really think that's a team that comes from NA? No, for me,
I'm not sure about that. We need all the help we can get.
Oh, down bad, huh?
NA needs all the help we can get.
Yeah. This is a bit different though, isn't it? A buck below from small tower? I mean, it happens sometimes, not all that common.
I actually love the fact that they're using the Lion to make them move, and at the same time they use the Demos and the Buck, because Demos is actually a vertical player also.
Oh no! How does he miss that? No way you lose this to okay. Sigh of relief. Cyber almost winning that engagement against Soldier. Way too close for comfort.
It's very interesting setup, right? You have the Buck in server bucking the guy for a big window, and at the same time you have the Demos to play the guy in kids. That double vertical setup to try and remove the strong position for a big window execute here.
Yep.
But the problem is, it's not as reliable as when we had the nades being cooked by Sledge.
That's a lot easier, but they forced Souls back. They didn't get the kill on him, but they cleared that Kid Storm's position. They can't go in big window and up that wide staircase and actually get into the side itself, rather. And they got master bedroom pressure as well, so a lot of different angles to work here from PSG.
I love to see it when a new character like this just is into vertical play and nobody expected it.
Ryder walking up white stairs will start off the killing for PSG Talon in the execute. So far, they're looking like they're in pretty good shape. Diffuser goes down, but FaZe Clan still have two players left, one of whom is Souls, who can't hit the broad side of a barn at the moment, allowing Misa to go out the window. The job for KDS and Souls just got a lot harder. You know how treacherous it can be to deal with one player outside of the window. Where will the remainder be? Misa far enough away, playing this tight angle so that when they swing, he'll have a read on it. There you go. Souls will have to go for the hop out. Now a zombie being watched. Where is KDS? Nowhere near the diffuser. That's the real question. Only 5 seconds for them to be able to hop on it. KDS dies. Souls almost out of time, but out of life. A nice round on the upstairs bomb site, and another victory for PSG Talon.
Clean, methodical round. We saw it, right? It's
simple.
It's actually easy to read when you have the top-down view. It's not easy to read when you're in FaZe's shoes, but we actually saw they didn't even need to get this pick in kids or in big window. They just needed to remove these strong positions. As soon as they're cleared out, you send a player up white stairs, you execute their big window, you can have additional pressure from Attic, from the kids window, or from Master. And it was all according to plan, and they kept the Demos downstairs to also prevent the execute retake, and punish anyone vertically. Again, I just love how Demos became a vertical player when nobody had thought of that at the beginning when he was released.
No, he's a rum hunter, right? Like Jackal, you scan someone, you go shoot them, but that's not how he's being utilized. And the big thing about, I think, the post planned in that previous round is that how PSG Talon have multiple win conditions. Like you said, they can play outside the window, they can play from below, because if one person falls, if one of those elements they don't work out, you have a second backup. It's what we see from the best teams in the world, and it's something that a team like PSG Talon, they didn't do like 6 months ago, right? They were in the Atlanta Major. Guess what? They went 3-7 loss against those, then they lost to CHE 0-2, then they went home. That's the only international tournament PSG Talon, back then they were just called Talon actually, that wasn't even PSG. That's the only time they've played international siege before, and now they've beaten BDS.
Yeah, and they're actually giving a good fight to FaZe, I think. I think it can be disappointed in that difference they have. They were looking to get more rounds on the table.
There were 2 close rounds, yeah.
Yeah, 2 close rounds, and at the same time here, even if they play really well in attack, I just don't really believe they can come back. It's quite hard because FaZe is here. They actually won the last round perfectly because FaZe gave them the space. I think if FaZe starts fighting a little bit more, getting a bit more aggressive, it should be okay for them. Here we're looking at a usual attack from PSG Talon. They bring the Osa, they're going for a big weak tower take. It's the classic one.
We've seen this in ranked a couple times last couple years, I would say. So again, FaZe shouldn't be surprised by this, but they have made a small kind of adaptation, I would say. Bandit trick in the attic walls, that doesn't happen all that often, but it could prove very effective here. Almost forcing that double breach, for example. The EP's coming up, but look at this. The bandit trick is successful. They only got 1 of the 2 bandit batteries. They get the downstairs wall, but we all know you need attic control before you can start playing down that diffuser.
Now Ryder's taking some damage as 1 minute is off of the clock. Has to be a little bit concerned with those back tower stairs. I also think it cost him one of those Talon shields as well.
This is one of our biggest concerns, and we spoke about it already. What is the mid-round adaptation here? You cannot problem solve the bandit trick. What is going to be the call? Who's taking the lead here to find a solution? I don't see any right now. They're just struggling, they're stalling. I don't see where they're rotating. They should be taking master or top floor control if they want to remove that player. Now look, this is the adaptation.
Ooh.
Going from Soul Tower, taking that top floor control, rotating to a dining take. This is the right call. This is great to see from them.
Yeah, even if it is a weaker attack statistically, it's the only right choice to make because you cannot go for big tower anymore. The thing is, if you're too slow, FaZe will read into this and adjust their positions as well. You gotta be somewhat quick here and catch them by surprise.
This is the beauty of Siege. One single operator, bandit tricking, completely changed the round, completely changed the plan, and they've now won 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half, just based off that operator.
Small things like that we often say aren't shown on the scoreboard, right? There's really nobody tracking how successful KDS has been on this round by a numbers metric. It's just something that we have to keep in mind of and then relay to everybody else. Final 40 seconds. Logic Bomb will go off from Soldier. It's the last one to be used. He finds a kill for his troubles onto Souls. Immediately, Soldier gets traded out by KDS. He's been inside of Attic for the entirety of that round. He has no real desire to go anywhere. KDS still playing in that spot. Now it's Ryder obscured. Information is given as he approaches stage. Vidaking with 1.
Oh, what?
Ryder blowing up Misa. That'll earn you a tongue lashing from Fabian. Royboy in a 1v4 shutdown by Handy. And FaZe 1 step closer to victory on their own map.
Disaster.
Yeah, that was the right call, but not the right execution, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it when we started spectating FaZe. They were all looking from tower side, smaller tower side. They knew exactly what was going on because it's a little bit too predictable because the pacing, right? You said they're stalling out, Now they're rotating, but they should have seen the moment they couldn't get that wall, guys, rotate right now.
And they've got the defender also.
Jumps in the window. Ah! Oh! Pain and misery. I mean, when you're Fabian, right? You're standing there. You know what you would do. You know what you would say to these guys. You don't have a tactical timeout. You just have to watch and be like, okay, it's a best of 3. We can do better on the next one. The only issue is, and you and I often spoke about this before the match started, next map is Consulate, the map pick choice of PSG Talon. You start on the attack inside. Oregon attacks so far are not telling me that Consulate attacks are going to be amazing, but I'm open for a surprise.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why Talon is struggling in attack right now is it seems clear that FaZe did their work. They brought some good solutions. Very simple, right? That bandit trick is a very simple counter, but still it's a counter. So the fact that there will be on a map that PSG Talon hasn't showed lately is something that they can be used. And maybe, you know, if PSG Talon, the biggest thing for them is that they're predictable, they will be unpredictable on a map that they haven't showed. So this is my only hope for them coming into the next map.
show those new strats, the pocket strats, and that's something that, I mean, Jesse said it so well. If you played it 3 times, you've played like 30-something rounds in this map already, you're not gonna have many more different adaptations that you've not shown already because you're playing Oregon because you think it's a great map of yours against your opposition, and of course, when you're a team like PSG Talon, you have to try and win every single match, like the grand finals, because you need to do your absolute best, 110%, to likely have a chance against these kinds of teams.
Now, just to interject for 1 second here, this is not an elimination game.
Nope.
So not all hope is lost for the loser, whether it be FaZe or whether it be PSG Talon. At the end of the day, one of these teams will go on to our quarterfinals on the grand finals weekend on Friday. They'll play on the main stage. The other will have another opportunity tomorrow. So if you're PSG Talon, who's shown quite a lot of promise, and you do end up losing this matchup, you still got another shot. If you're FaZe Clan and you lose to PSG Talon here, God help your opponent tomorrow, because that will be one angry FaZe Clan team.
Cyber, bit of a whiff there. Don't see that all that often from his side, and I know we all say about like Ness, he can take over games. Cyber, is that drone hole? Oh no, not that drone hole.
Small mistakes, gentlemen. Small mistakes can
Massive
cost you the round. The inability to pinch Cyber inside a meeting haunt PSG Talon, especially given this is match point for FaZe.
This is the kind of setup like I don't think they're expected to see this kind of stuff. I don't think they're really pushed in scrims in APAC to finding these players being super aggressive and finding a direct path. Look at Cyber, what he's done. He's isolated the first 1v1, then got on a second, and then instead of going back to the basement, he actually rotated the garage, and he's still there. He's still fighting. This is the Brazilian playstyle, and it's something that they're not used to it. Oh, he's still misdrawn.
He's gonna get another one.
There's a world he gets another one.
You can't drone at all, that's the issue, and there's no Jackals, no Deimos, so he is very likely gonna stand there and get the third kill.
He's getting it.
This is really just Cyber's playground at this point. JLT, the last hope for PSG Talon. Finally, somebody slays the dragon, but 4 more heads emerge at this point from the Hydra that is FaZe Clan.
I wouldn't be too disappointed if I'm PSG Talent here. I think in general, like, it's not an elimination game, and they're here to learn. It's fine if they lose this, and they still Consulate.
Well, lose it they do, indeed. At least the first map. FaZe Clan demolishing the Korean team of PSG Talon and doing what we expect them to do on their map. 1 away. Can they steal Consulate from PSG Talon and launch themselves into the main stage games on Friday? That's the real question. To the desk we go. 1 more map for FaZe.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, what a game. FaZe Clan, the team that we're all expecting to do really well in this qualification game for Friday's main stage, they defeat Talon on Oregon, Jesse.
They do. They take their map pick, and obviously an extremely strong map from them. I think it really helped out that they've seen Talon play Oregon so many times this tournament. It's a map where they clearly had a game plan coming into it, and they perfectly executed it to take down Talon. There were some really strong attacks in this first round. Of course, obviously winning back-to-back bomb site or pushes on the bottom floor. One of the hardest sites in the entire game to attack. They did it twice successfully on the side of FaZe Clan, and then this top floor on the 6th round when they go for that master clear. My God, beautiful little Ying play to take out the Kiba barriers, to push forward deep into the room and take care of the one Azami, and then double back for the closet player. So strong. I love the execute coming forward. And then I talked about it at the halftime show as well, coming through in with that blitz ban makes those basement pushes so difficult for Talon, and it didn't feel like they had any other answers.
They showed a lot of respect to PSG Talon too. You know, go into obviously it's preparation for themselves, but to respect the facts on that blitz ban, as you do say. And I think it was excellent from FaZe. Their attacks really set themselves up. Anytime you can come out of an Oregon with a 4-2 attacking half, you're always going to fancy yourself, because ultimately you can just keep forcing a laundry defense until you win it anyway. And that's what they did. I thought, you know, we spoke about Handy obviously got 11-4 there, but we spoke about Cyber in the pre-game, and actually how he had his fun. We saw him have his fun in that very last round, where he just decided meeting with a drone hole kill, slipping in and out of drones, and just basically punishing PSG Talon for being sloppy. And that's what you get at this level with these top teams. You have to not make mistakes, and PSG Talon made a mistake. It lost them the round.
After a rough stage, Cyber now has back-to-back positive KD games where he's putting in really high impact kills. That final round, undoubtedly his best of the day so far. Insane roam coming through in the basement, single-handedly winning it for his team. Loved it from Cyber. We got a package now for him, and really just making that space, right? Playing that entry, but also able to get some sneaky little plays in there. He had a plant on Kitchen 5v5 halfway through this game, and I think that really talks up to the flexibility of Cyber as a player, the experience he has, of course, bringing to the server, and just the nutty angles he's able to bring out.
Honestly, it's horrible. Like, you try and deal with that, and as a team, you know, when you go away and you VOD review that, and you've lost around that, you just think, we should never do that. But players like Cyber, they're slippy, they get in and out, they understand the drones, they understand what people are going to do, and it's very difficult to deal with.
The man is dipped head to toe in olive oil and is just weaving his way around into school there. That was beautiful to watch. And of course, these tiny little mist drones, this is why we call this a big challenge and a big test for Talon, because FaZe play almost perfectly, and you need to play in that perfect way. We all set it up before we started with our map. But that is map number 1, Oregon, done. We still have potentially 2 more to go, but that pressure is now on Talon, even more so than it was. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time for Consulate. More on it, Operation New Blood. We got a small little clip to see yesterday, an extra one today of actual gameplay. Hey, who's not been in a situation where they completely reinforced everything in the site? I'm talking to you, gold players, i.e. myself.
And Jesse.
Yeah, I'm down there too.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I haven't. Last time I played ranked was. Should I out myself?
You don't have to.
Why not?
Last time I played ranked, Maestro was still new, and I got plant in that season. The one before, I didn't have many of it, but you know, that's what we got at the end of it. Yeah, it's a while ago. Otherwise, I'm just out there playing with No Limit and Dawn of Shadow, so that has to tell you something about it. Anyways, let's talk about our matchup, because we're coming on PSG versus FaZe. Map 2 Soldier, though.
Yep.
Jesse, what do you want to talk to us about here?
I mean, we talked in the preview about how important those entries were going to be for Talon, and I got to give it to Soldier. He was performing on the opening picks, 4-1 on entry, and statistically, that's supposed to be great for Talon. Coming into this game, 81% of the time, they were converting those opening picks into round wins, but it just didn't happen. That stat's going to tank this game, because even though Soldier was showing up in the entries, even though he was starting his team off on the right foot, he wasn't able to convert that. So I think they're getting step 1 down on map 1. Map 2, they've got to work on converting, getting that step 2.
I think everything's just got to be better as well. If we talk about what the map 2 is going to be, it's going to be Consulate, right? And I think if we looked at Oregon and we said, hey, PSG, they made a lot of mistakes, and basically FaZe punished every mistake. Consulate is a newer map, so as much as these teams have been on the ins and outs of the newer maps, of Consulate, and have been through everything, it's still quite new. There's still, you know, new theories, new things being found out, new metas being developed on it, but there's a lot of rooms and there's a lot of opportunity for those players to be punished. So PSG have to step up massively going on to Consulate in my mind.
Talon have never in team history won a match on Consulate. Now, to be fair, they pushed it to overtime twice this season, both times against D plus Kia, so they've come close, but never have they finished out on Consulate.
Well, hell of a way to try to test it all here against FaZe Clan, and what is, again, not an elimination game. This match, the winner of it, goes to the main stage to play on Friday. It is a positive note here. Nobody's knocked out in this matchup, so you know what? Let's get back into the swing of it with our casters, Pengo and Taro and Alfama.
Well, we might see the 4th team qualify for the quarterfinals on Friday, and it should surprise nobody that it might be FaZe Clan, but there are still believers here. 30% of you putting your faith in the Korean team that has repeatedly surprised us. As the desk said, this is not do or die for them. They will have another chance to qualify tomorrow if they fall short on Consulate. But still, you typically want to win your map.
Yeah, it's a very tough way and position to be in for PSG Talon. You're starting on Consulate, but in attack, and it also offers plenty of opportunities for FaZe to be more aggressive in defense like they were on Oregon, to be as disruptive as possible, to have Cyber run around, challenge them, be that disruptive factor, and to prevent PSG Talon to perfectly execute their game plan.
Oh, so the Amuro ban here, you're thinking like, what's that about, right? Well, FaZe, I said it in Oregon, have they gone back and watched the Korea VODs from PSG Talon? They have. There is this one execute on the upstairs attack of CEO where they will Amuro in to CEO, FaZe will like smoke grenaded or to Shanka fired. They're gonna jump back out, rinse, repeat, plant eventually. This Amuro ban heavily denies PSG Talon's primary upstairs execute. I don't think they've shown any other real iterations of an attack upstairs. So again, adaptation, we keep going back to it. Think on your feet, problem solve on the fly, a specific operator target ban, and remove from action here on Consulate.
And that's the goal of the operator ban phase, actually, to be as disruptive as possible, especially when you have a team that's so predictable and always applies the same game plan. Now, I want to say that if you're the favorite in a matchup like this, you will want to ban these cheesy operators to prevent these cheesy plays, because the cheesy plays are actually a great way for non-favorites to get rounds on the table.
The one thing that I feel like, so we spoke about to Jesse and Fresh between the map 1 and map 2 here, and we all say the same thing. The map veto is kind of where PSG Talon, they fell short, right? You go Oregon first against that FaZe who is insane on it, has a really good track record, like 15-1 I think I was told. And then you have to go Consulate and start on the attack inside. This is a map veto issue where you're backs against the wall and you're forced to ban certain maps, which leads to these less than ideal scenarios, and you're of course starting on the back end of map number 1 and of course, map number 2.
If you look at the setup already, you can see in the operator lineup from FaZe, they want to spread around. They want to be as contesting the entries as much as possible. They actually bring the traps with the Legion. They bring the Kaid and the Azami to make the site stronger. And at the same time, they bring the Intel Gathering with the Valkyrie to be that aggressive player to prevent PSG Talon to get in the building and easily get all of their need for the execute.
And just to further your point, Nick, just like we saw in Oregon, very defender-sided map. Consulate 7 plays 65% of all rounds, won by the defenders, and nary a good attacking bomb site. All of them with successful win rates for the defenders, except for servers and tellers, which is that split bomb site, which has seen far and away the least amount of play, but it's sitting at a 50-50, 3 rounds, 1 for the attackers, 3 for the defenders. Other than that, FaZe Clan should look to run up the numbers here. Well, they were gonna rush.
That's a great C4. It stopped everything. I mean, again, they can't commit to it now. That was the whole plan. The fire went down, the smokes went out. They gotta do something else now. Just like in Oregon, plan A just doesn't work.
Great read from Salzone as well.
Yes.
You know, not many players would throw a C4 at 2 minutes in the round. He recognized the smokes. He also probably heard the shield, and he expected that rush.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Do you think they were expecting that? ADS from above. Misa taking quite a bit of damage. The Blitz not banned out, and not a shock to see Soldier playing that Operators was talked about by Jesse. All the way back on Oregon, a second kill from Misa. Down goes Souls, 2 kills, and cams gained as well. Information overflowing for PSG Talon.
This is great for them. They're actually abusing the fact that FaZe are playing so spread. They're bringing the 2KB to isolate these players, and at the same time the Blitz to push them, to corner them, to make them move, and then to punish them. It's a great adaptation. When the rush doesn't work, it's fine. Let's turn the rush towards the roamers. Get the man advantage. Really well played for PSG Talon here.
Oh no. Ooh. Nitro cell tossed with good effort.
Now he's stuck in a 2v1, look.
Very little damage done to Soldier, but Handy's going to continue to be harassed. Killed from the bottom of yellow by JLT. Excellent start so far from PSG Talon. All phases left within these final 50 seconds. Vidiking and Cyber. Cyber holding that position. His attention dragged away from the hatch he was watching, killed by Ryder, and now it's all up to Vidiking, who has to dance with the shield of Blitz. Big round for Misa. Logic bombs.
You're the fucking best player in fucking Korea! Come on!
Best player in Korea. Confirmed, I guess.
That's not what he said.
No, I mean...
You're missing a
I
lot.
was missing something. I'm not gonna add it.
That's the Misa that was missing for much of Oregon.
Yeah, and he's now woken up. Was it worth it to ban Hammer? Really? Was it worth it to ban
Was it
Hammer?
worth it? Get the Blitz in there?
Get the Blitz. You should have banned the Blitz. Maybe.
Punishment.
But it's the Blitz that opened up all of these opportunities for Misa to then backstab them.
And honestly, that was sloppy gunplay from KDS. He should have won that engagement.
Yeah.
He had the read on Misa. He has a gun with almost no recoil. The MPX is so easy to control. Yeah, it's a bit of a pea shooter, but
Fucking good, Misa! You're the fucking best player in fucking Korea!
we're gonna run it back.
He said it 3 times.
Let's get it in slow motion. I would love to hear that in slow motion, but no. Honestly, how does that round go if KDS wins the ensuing fight against Misa?
It should be done. It should be finished.
It should be that.
It already should have been finished after they canceled the rush, after the C4, the Thermite. They already had the man advantage. Maybe what FaZe did and shouldn't have done is they stayed extended when they already had the man advantage.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have went back to side, play off that, give back the space to PSG Talon, and maybe they didn't respect them enough.
I always say, like, gunfight's a 50-50. Like, should KDS have lost that? He shouldn't have lost it. But strategically, PSG made the perfect play. After losing the opening death to the C4, rather, they played it perfectly. They played together. They baited the player on yellow stairs to Warden, with one outside the yellow door. Blitz pushing, peeling back and forth, baiting FaZe into them. But I think you're right, Leo. They should have just said, we got the advantage, we got the opening kill, now trade the bodies, right? And we see FaZe failing to make the right adaptation, which wasn't the story at Oregon.
What was especially great to see is after this double pick from Misa backstabbing is how they were playing to isolate every single player and make sure they had the manpower to trade every time. They stuck that Warden onto the stairs, and then the 2 last remaining player on site, you had the Blitz in front of him, and then you had Misa ready to punish the movement. That was really well played. They should be keeping this playstyle whenever FaZe is spreading.
Well, KDS doesn't miss this time, but here's Misa to the rescue. 1 kill, a second not too far removed. Vidiking testing his luck against the DMR in the hands of Misa, favoring these single-shot weapons that do quite a bit of damage. And Vidiking will now retreat downstairs to servers to lick his wounds.
Big loss there though. IQ up against the IQ, and you lose Misa as well below the castle barrack as a cheeky angle from him. But this is not going well for PSG Talon. They're losing gunfights this time.
Well, I mean, it was KDS who should have won the fight all the way back in round number 1 and probably would have won it for FaZe Clan, right? You missed that. You allow these monsters on PSG Talon to continue to rack up kills. KDS yet another on to Roy Boy. He's put a nice performance together in this round, and now it's all up to Ryder, who will die to KDS. A quad kill for KDS.
We were mentioning the trades were so important in the first round, and now 0 trades. Nobody was playing together. Everybody was picking one by one. I don't really get this playstyle. They were going for one floor horizontal, but there was no the control needed. There was no utility being sent. Nothing to actually get in a favorable gunfight.
And you're up against the Valkyrie. IQ dies first, and we saw the players of FaZe always sitting on Val camps the entire time, giving yellow ping spots to say, hey, there's an attacker here. That's why FaZe were pre-firing most of those gunfights. So you lose the worst case scenario operator, you can't do the counter until in the IQ, and you don't have a trade game either going for you. You don't have blitz that time to just like run through the building. So again, no clear win condition, I would say, for PSG. And it kind of showed in the round. They were just walking around trying to figure something out, and also losing those gunfights.
Yeah, just a one floor take enabled by the Dokaebicals. The Dokaebicals are great. They're good to take a lot of space really quickly. The problem I see here is that they didn't take enough space, and especially they were challenging the opponents without taking vertical control, with just fronting any back pressure, no back pressure. That's my issue here. You're just super easy to read, and you have nothing to go, to make yourself more favorable taking these gunfights.
And these things are often determined rather in the operator pick phase. If you don't play a buff, for example, or a ram, is it worth to go above if you do that, clear? Now, you gotta go horizontal. This bomb site will be upstairs, and this is where the Armorer ban comes into play for FaZe. Almost every single time, PSG will take Armorer in CEO window, try and get that diffuser planted. They cannot do it this time around. There are C4s denying, there are Valkyrie camps, there's Verticality, and of course, Toxic Babes from Viddy King on the smoke. So we're thinking to ourselves, probably go admin take. It's possible, but this would have to be a newer strategy that they prepped for this matchup or for this major, because that's not what they did in Korea.
It's very important they problem solve this guy in the right way. This admin kill is the key here to the bomb site. If they can get admin control and at the same time this opening engagement goes their way, it's perfect to be set up. I'm just struggling to see how they will do it with their utility here. With the lineup that they have, how do they make them move? Grim? That's not enough.
No shields as well. You talked about the blitz all the way back in round number 1. They banned out the Amaru, and you immediately said, well, maybe we should have banned the blitz, right? No shield operator for these 2 subsequent sites. We'll see if it emerges once the cycle likely repeats itself, because again, just like Oregon, this is a map that tends to run through those 3 default bomb sites. Servers Tellers does not appear with the same frequency as we said.
FaZe have achieved what they wanted here. So they gave away admin, but they've burned 1 minute. And it's very good because now they can set up the crossfire with the Asami, with the smoke, with the mute. They can abuse the site that's really good, and the crossfire that are existent on the top floor.
And normally, it's not that hard to problem solve this setup if you have a Cavatar, right? 1 fire on Soda Machine, you clear out 1 portion, 1 fire meeting door, you can now swing things for like that 10-second interval. But without the Cavatar and just the Grim, you're stuck taking really bad gunfights. At best, they're 50-50, but with the crossfires established from FaZe, I would not be surprised if they're gonna get a really rough trading game going here, likely favoring defense.
These drones have been having a lot of difficulty as well with the mute jammers of Souls. We've seen it a couple times, and obviously just on the screen for maybe a little bit more time than we expected. Now here's your first engagement. 5 kills from Misa to start things off. Out-dueling Handy. Upstairs on Spiral. KDS is assuming there will be a follow-up, but Misa has retreated from that position. Final 45 seconds before the execute.
Even with the meta advantage, I don't think they're in a good position here. They still haven't breached here, and they should be a mute jammer. And I don't see... Yeah, okay, he's going to open it upstairs, but they won't be able to go through.
No.
So then I don't think they're going to be forced to execute into 2 doorways here. That's going to be a big issue.
Try and isolate these defenders playing here. Soldier, but hold on! Strategically, they might not be the most sound, but they've got some good shots. Leo, diffuser going down. His Riders halfway through the count at this point. Cyber and Souls combining for 1 kill. Nitro Cell goes out! It does damage, but it's a bit too late. Cyber now spotted, playing over by Long Desk, rotating around. Diffuser running away from Cyber. He looks for yet another drone shot away, but the 3 players from PSG Talon have all scattered around the map. 6 kills from Misa. Could he find a 7? He gets information on Cyber now patrolling the corridor. Not far removed from the bomb site. Roy Boy down below has the reading. He'll open it up, but it's a long arm. You don't know where he is. There's no way! Misa to the rescue!
That's
A
close.
nanosecond left. The Lion was there as well, so he would die no matter what, but way too close for comfort.
I thought they lost it actually for a second. I was like, oh no, please not like this. Like, shotgun below, boom, boom, missing. I think FaZe misplayed that round. And I think you're gonna agree with me, because it's like, PSG don't have a good position here strategically, they don't have enough kills, and then FaZe, they start swinging. They leave their strong positions and they go outside the bomb site and they lose 2 players right before they execute.
This is what I don't understand. Where does this aggression come from? Why do you do it?
Yeah.
You have the smoke in a strong position on the bomb site. That Grim was only able to open a
Tiny hole.
A tiny hole at the top of the wall. No real pressure on you. You have everything to be controlling this execution, especially close range of that door on the bomb site with that shotgun. You had all the chances to take it. I don't understand the swing. That's a given for PSG Talon, and they just don't need to do that. Keep it simple, especially when there's all of this utility set up on the side to help you win that execute. You've just played it the right way at the beginning. You killed off. You have a strong setup. Don't overpick.
And I think the fact that FaZe, they called their tactical timeout off that loss also speaks volumes that they definitely did misplay it by their own standards, because otherwise, why call it already? It's the 3rd round just being played out. It was a close round at that. You know, they almost got the counter defuse, but they didn't think ahead correctly this time. And the Dennis kind of spoke about it. This is a newer map. It's not like it came out yesterday, but if you're FaZe Clan, you've played Oregon 10 billion times, and you've played Consulate maybe 100,000 times. That's a very big difference, and that small, you know, lack of inexperience maybe does show in those split-second decision-making in the rounds.
I think it comes down to KDS's pick. He went in with Azami for no reason, and I think the smoke kind of felt forced to follow him and try to trade him for no reason, and just one single individual performance, and then your team tried to play off you, but it's just the wrong way to finish it.
It was KDS who made the error by missing the gunplay in the first round as well. So that's 2 rounds in a row that inaction or a misplay from KDS has directly resulted in the rest of FaZe's dominoes all falling far too early. And well, we talked about how important the blitz was. It's not Soldier playing it. Soldier's on a gun this time, but another shield operator will emerge for PSG Talon.
Normally when you see different players play this in operator, it's for different reasons, right? Soldier's your aggressive intro kind of guy who's going to be in their face with blitz. Roy Boy is known as like the hot support player of this team. Like they're going to extend, play passive, drone. I think he's droning for Misa right now actually, and he's already inside of lobby, so if they can get a quick pick in here, they already have basement control as well for C4 below. This might be just a lobby plant.
And Misa's taking some damage. You can't gamble those 7 kills this early on. By the way, all 7 of those kills coming in the first 3 rounds. Hell of a tally. You ever get slapped so hard you turn into a Valkyrie camera? Misa got turned into a piece of gadgetry as he gets vanquished from Vidaking.
Lack of IQ. That was this camera there in lobby. It yellow-pinged Misa, who was standing right by the bomb site door, and it shut everything down and got them the kill.
At this point, I think FaZe understand the game plan from PSG Talon. So the idea is that they spread around. That's what I call a spider attack. So you have multiple pressure, some from the windows upstairs, and then and horizontally you have Misa looking for these opportunities. This is why the Valcams are so important. Look, he's rushing onto the bomb site to try and prevent that and go for the execute really quickly.
They know this information. KDS taking damage, Nitro Cell goes off, JLT dies, down goes Ryder, Royboy's still alive, but they've lost the rest of the team around him. It's all up to Soldier, who, by the way, still has those death marks. He hasn't used any of them. You've got full utility on Soldier. 2 nades, all 3 death marks, and you get nothing for it. A flawless round by FaZe Clan. Why do you not use the utility you have, PSG Talon?
Well, Parker, I believe it's because they don't need the utility, or they don't feel like they need the utility. Because basically what their game plan is we're lurking around, we find a hole, we try to go into it, and it's what matters with the team that are trying to upset big teams. They need these cheesy plays to try and to be able to win enough rounds, especially when they're starting on an attacker side that's weak-sided. They need to be able to have a bit of gambles, have a bit of luck to try and put these rounds on. The problem is consistently doing that and hitting that, that's just not gonna happen.
I will say with FaZe, they do something that very few teams are able to do at this level of play. When Roybo just tosses down those smokes, runs in with Muncie, they saw the Valcam, he's gonna go for a plant immediately. And most teams are gonna just rush the bomb site, try and take down Roy. But Roy died second last. They dealt with everybody else first and said, it doesn't matter if you plant, if there's no one left alive to do anything about it. And it's just great problem-solving skills there from FaZe, saying, we can do this in a different way that doesn't require any risk or movement into those lines of sight.
You see how there was zero panic after the diffuser?
Zero panic.
Of course, they were in a 5v3, but you know, a team that doesn't have experience could panic in this situation. They could start throwing bodies one by one. They didn't do it. They problem solved it the right way. Okay, which informations do we have on which player? Let's group up on him. Let's make sure we have a trade. We are up 5v3 anyway. We're sure we can get it if we just get a trade every time. And this is exactly the right way you should play it. And this goes to show the experience on FaZe's side.
Capcan. Speaking of cheese, no? I mean, I love to be a Capcan kill here every now and again, but dying to a Capcan is the most tilting thing, I think, in the game right now. You're running about, you're droning, your teammate's droning for you, misses. It's clear, just go in. Poof.
If you're talking about a team that doesn't really know what to do next, Capcans are great to deal with that, right? If you think that PSG Talon's going to go for a rush, they did in the previous round, bring a Capcan. They're not going to look. They might be trying to get out of harm's way right into a Capcan trap. There's another shield operator for PSG Talon now, as well as Discovery continues. Korean team, 45 seconds into their advance, and Soldier is looking for a vault in the Visa window.
I think, again, it's a great adaptation from Vitaking, or from FaZe, actually, from the first round. What happened in the first round? After the failed rush, they went and lurked around the first floor, around the roamers, to try and punish them, because they were missing information, FaZe. Now they bring the Valkyrie, they bring the Legion, and they bring the Capcan. 3 operators that can give you intel on where the lurkers are. It's actually a really nice way to spread around, but actually guarantee that you know where the opposing team is.
It's also forcing PSG into an uncomfortable spot because they want self-destruction, hard destruction, they want to like slow things down with the line, for example. There's no space for an IQ in this lineup unless you sacrifice something else. So now it's either lose something and find the Val cams, or just you cannot find the Val cams. So those yellow pings, like constant information for FaZe, make them so comfortable. That's going to be here in this round for the 3rd time in a row.
Server take is what it looks like as the forces from PSG Talon coalesce around the back side of this map, or at least some of them for the time being. Monty makes a hell of a lot of noise. Cyber knew he was in that position when he looked previously. Where do the rest of these PSG Talon players decide to hit from?
I think they're trying to get the opening engagement here on that one roamer. If they don't, this is going to be really tricky because it's cold. It's evident now that they're going to be pushing towards server, and it's a brute force front push with the Monty, or back push, sorry, with the Monty into a crossfire.
Plenty of time left, but this could be the very first punch landed from either of these teams. Nitro Cell goes out, Soldier taking damage, Ryder punishing Souls. So PSG Talon will draw first blood. Handy dies as well to Misa, who tosses in a nade, Adrenal Surge, and will confront KDS in but a second, but the Valkyrie needs to be very careful.
Oh.
Nice play by Cyber. Soldier left there, nobody to escort him. Vidaking firing back. Ryder now dead. Misa engaging, and a crossbody shot from KDS. Everything falling apart for PSG Talon. They got the first couple picks, and then it was all FaZe all the rest of the way.
But strategically, I like what they tried doing. So after taking server, they actually went in, and then they sent Misa on the backside, and at the same time, Soldier upstays to try to have some back pressure, because they knew if they 5-man front this, there's no way they're going to do it. And actually, they got 2 picks of it, just not enough because it's too late.
I think there was a bigger plan that they wanted to achieve in that round, because Fabian said afterwards, focus, right? It's like they have this idea that they want to accomplish, and they get halfway there, then things they kind of fall apart. And as you said, when you get that 5 versus 3, it looks so easy, but then they isolate themselves and fall in 1v1 gunfights. That's the first pick, and Misa finds the second, and this right here looks so winnable.
It's a very silly kill, by the way, that we just saw from Misa in that position. Why are you peeking? Why is Handy peeking the yellow door? Just sit and wait at that point.
We already said multiple times that FaZe looks sloppy, and I think it's 2 times in a row now that we noticed that they over-aggress for no reason. I don't understand the lack of discipline here. Again, the win condition for them in defense here, especially with less than a minute left on the table in a 5v5, they're the winning team here. They're forcing the opponents to go in and go into their crossfires. Why would you pick outside for the back pressure? Just wait for this guy. He has to come in anyway, and you have the advantage. So we need to watch out for this from FaZe, because right now it's okay, they're playing PSG Talon, I would say a weaker opponent, but later in the tournament they really need to fix these issues.
Well, that's definitely going to be a problem later on. I mean, absolutely, that's... And it has been like FaZe, like they've been winning matches, but it's been overtime, you know, 7-5. It's not been super clean, as you'd expect, and BDS had a struggle earlier, and we're saying, in my opinion, these FaZe, BDS, and Furia, top 3 teams this event. That hasn't really been the real story. All of a sudden, Secret they're getting in there. PSG Talon causing ups against BDS. It's puzzling, but anyone can beat anybody right now at this level of play, and honestly, I love it.
Back in Oregon, we highlighted the stats on these bomb sites. PSG Talon on the weaker side of Consulate. It is their map, but they've already won 2 rounds on attack. We said that was good for FaZe when they did it. It's just as good now for PSG Talon. If Talon can emerge 3-3 from this first half, they will be in good position, very good position. Therefore, it's incumbent on FaZe to prevail in what will be their very final defense. 1 minute off of the board. Discovery still ongoing. And Tarp/Blue Control will be in hand for PSG Talon as the Monty will walk down to that least played bomb site of server tellers.
Least played bomb site, and also, if I'm not mistaken, one of the worst in terms of win rate for the defenders.
50-50.
This is a great opportunity for PSG Talon to have a 50-50 split. Actually, they got the control upstairs with the vertical pressure, and at the same time, you have the Monty working directly on site. Everything is going their way right now. It's a 5v5. I think the win condition here is especially on the C4s. I love it because it's kind of the old style of the server with the pulse, pulsing everything.
Some things never change. And I think the gunfight is going to be very important for both sides here. Getting that opening pick to play with the numbers advantage. And for PSG downstairs, they don't have any EMPs left, so the wall is going to be kite clawed. They can't get through this, so they might either have to brute force this with smoke grenades, just walk in, or change their plan with a minute left in the round. Consulate, very big map, and Cyberstrike at the same time. This could go wrong.
3 C4s, and yes, this is very reminiscent of vintage Consulate where you'd stick 4 players down below, a pulse would call, and everybody would just throw explosives from below to stop you in your tracks. JLT solo entered, now Misa's gone as well. Another drone hole kill! 2 so far, going against PSG Talon. Roy Boy with the flash, following up, Handy completely blinded. That damage done earlier to Soldier God, not great. Out go the smokes, King clobbered by Soldier. It's his second kill. Even if everybody else is collecting the scraps. Cyber looking for a flank, Soul's not there. Soldier halfway through the diffuser. Most of FaZe Clan is retaken. They drop onto Roy Boy. Soldier looking to just hold on to this diffuser. Souls has reduced it just to the Monty, but chaos inside the site. A 3-3 first half will not happen. FaZe Clan, 4-2.
You know what was the most important thing here? KDS not dropping instantly when he was on the hatch.
Yeah.
He actually waited till all of his teammates were ready to trade him, then he waited for that drop, then Souls 1 actually traded him on Legion. This goes to show, like, yes, we've said KDS overpicked in a few of these rounds, but I think he made up for it here. And it's what happens when you play against one of the best teams in the world. They have all, in these minor details, they all always take the best decision. Here, they understood, okay, it's fine. We've lost the bomb site. We've went from a 5v3 to a 3v3. Do you see any panic again? No panic at all. They played the right way. It's beautiful to see, actually.
I think the big story for Consulate so far actually is that, sure, PSG get 2 attacking rounds, which is actually just quite alright. However, there was so much potential to have a 4-2 favoring them, I'd argue, because there were 2 rounds, that was last one in particular, where they actually turned things around, they problem solve quite well, they get the bomb planted, but then it falls apart still. And it comes down to, they kill one person on the flank, on that server door, and then they look away, there's a second player. Those very small micro decisions, or what a flank drone could accomplish, some information, could very easily turn that round loss into a round victory. So yes, scoreline says 4-2, but this could have been a 3-3, a 2-4 the other way around, etc. There is still potential here for an upset, I think, on Consulate.
Yeah, and there was a consistent pattern from the attacks of PSG Talents. It's basically 5 players working towards the same objective for the first 2 steps, and then they split. You have a core of 3, generally around the Monty, that are working on the execute with the diffuser, and then they sent Misa and probably Soldier most of the time, or Ryder it was right now, the round before, to try and backstab and apply back pressure. Now, the only issue with this is, for these 2 players, you're actually giving opportunities for FaZe to flank them and gain them an advantage. And that's what happened 2 times in a row, and especially the round just before.
Speaking of Blitz and Monty, how about both in the same round? FaZe bringing not 1, but 2 shields and the Dokkaebi. So maybe in terms of gunfire or gun power, not the most amount of, kills they can get that way, but utility-wise, pushing people around with the shields, taking up those strong positions on the map, that can be very effective for FaZe Clan if they can get the right information with the drone work, which is problematic given the mute jammers and that extensive roam from PSG.
It's very clear that they want to try and get in the building the safest way possible here, using both the Dokkaebi calls and at the same time double shields. But where are they? Where are they? Where is he fronting? Where are the shields to get them in the building?
Outside.
Outside
lobby door. I mean, I would say you can go 1 shield lobby, 1 shield top floor. You can work both areas, but instead they're I mean, FaZe are very spread out. They have no clear indication of which side they're going to be attacking from right now, which might lead Talon to guess what's going to be happening here. Is it going to be an admin attack, CO attack, yellow? Is it rushing the bomb side? Because they have breached those walls to side.
They're going to need some explosives to deal with the remaining castle barricades as well. King calling by lobby for one of those castle barricades to be dealt with. But spread out is absolutely correct. Good news is they've got about half the round still to deal with this. So FaZe Clan will be running out of time quickly, but they're not quite in as dangerous a spot yet as you might fear.
Feels like everyone is watching into each other. Everyone's trying to guess what's happening. Everybody's spread. No one is really making moves. That's it. Maybe that's the opening they were looking for. Nope. That's your ace. That's gone.
KDS got killed, became a barricade. Cyber now also out-dueled. A much better defense for PSG Talon than a lot of the attacks we saw from them. And again, defender-sided map, you expect this to happen in this manner. Royboy taken out. King has found himself potentially with an open sight to get the diffuser down, but here's the question mark. There's a pulse from below. Does he have the right read on the player from FaZe? King inside a piano, waiting for it. Somebody needs to go deal with Soldier God. Souls taken out by JLT. Took damage earlier in the round. Final 30 seconds. Down goes Ryder as Handy punishes him. 3 still remaining for PSG Talon. JLT gone. It's Misa and Soldier with Handy as the only one for FaZe Clan. And he's going to try to go for the plant, but guess what? The pulse is still down below, and Soldier gets the read on it through the floor.
Oh no!
But he completely misses. Handy gets away with it, and he can now watch as whoever crosses him will be within range of that 417. So much damage is done, but the pulse of Soldier can still give information. They know exactly where he is, over by Zulu. Worried about the advance. He'll cut across, missing the opportunity, and he almost gets them all. A sliver of HP for Soldier is all that remains, and he gets the diffuser.
Again, so close, so close.
About 15 HP.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy because at the beginning of the round, I think we were missing the direction from FaZe.
Yeah, we were. And I want to call it, almost looked like experimental of a round. It didn't seem like... Nice.
It should have been 100%.
Yelling only 99?
It should have been 100.
That's not right.
He hasn't been yelling as much as usual, but you can tell the thing really dragging him down, his charisma.
Also, that's the tiniest notepad ever. It's a sticky note with a tiny pencil going beep, 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 boop. This here, though, the retake on yellow was phenomenal for Handy.
That was a really nice decision. So he understands that there is no way they're going to plant the diffuser because the setup from PSG Talon is we have the pulse downstairs, and then the only safe spot is covered by vertical play. And 2 players are upstairs. So he actually takes the opportunity to tell to his Monty, okay, stay here, bait them. I'm going to go for these 2 guys upstairs. Actually get the double pick. Should never have done that. There should have been a trade.
Yeah.
It was really well played from Handy. He brought it back, but in the end, PSG Talon won this because I was lacking the direction from FaZe here. There was a clear core of players working the bomb site, but the rest of the defense were up and basement. So what was the real solution here? You should have spent more utility or at least one of the floors to try and get more advantage.
Yeah, I think typically on that piano bomb side, either you take top floor or basement because you can't just fight all 3 floors at once. However, with this bomb site change-up being the basement bomb site now, you had to just do either a bomb site rush, like PSG tried in the first round, or, of course, a good old top-down roam clear, right? You start top floor, work your way down, but there could be a trick up PSG Talon's sleeve. They got the Pulse and Valkyrie and 3 separate C4s, so if they go top-down for the roam clear, unless Handy does some exceptional work with the IQ here, there could be an opening pick potential from utility from below.
And out of any bomb site that has been played more than 5 times, this garage bomb site on Consulate has the 2nd best win rate for defenders out of every site in the game.
Oh,
and you know what's funny about this? They have the exact same lineup, almost the exact same lineup as FaZe. They bring Intel Gathering with the Valkyrie and the Pulse. They bring the Azami and Kaid on the side to make it stronger. And then they have the traps. Again, Intel about the lurkers.
Is anybody going to be able to deal with those Valcams? Handy presumably will be the one. PSG Talon didn't decide to bring the IQ. FaZe doesn't make that same mistake.
Yeah, it's always gotta be... Oh, that's not good. Handy's just in.
Not just in! Taking no prisoners, Soldier and Ryder are dead. Handy! Supposed to be one of your support players. You don't necessarily think that he's gonna be as lethal as that, and yet the depth on FaZe allows anybody to get those kills. And what an advantage FaZe has with half of the round to go.
Triple pinch on a player now. He's stuck because you have the Dokai because getting flash. He should not be getting away with it.
Oh!
And he does. He does, and now he's upstairs. He has even more control, and he has the post to tell this information to his teammates. The other two can stay on the bomb site, and he must stay here to burn as much time as possible.
That's a new win condition that just opened up for PSG, and oh, there it goes there, Handy again. He's everywhere. Triple kill in this round. Pushes in, gets the flanker as well. Could get his fourth right here in a second.
Here's Roy Boy, though. Kaid is not exactly a discreet operator. No ace to be had from Andy, but the win for FaZe Clan is more likely than ever. Souls with the final 2 kills.
As much as we were saying that the defense on PSG Talon was very similar to FaZe's defense, I think the attack on FaZe was very different from what PSG Talon brought. What was super interesting to see is, oh, okay, they're spreading. They want to have more control upstairs. They want to burn time with roamers. What will we check? We'll have Jackal, Dokaebi, IQ, and then we'll just abuse these to get a lot of control and get the opening engagements our way to then execute on site. It was really well played. I think initially they got this 2 opening pick, and then it went closer because of Misa's move. Somehow Misa escaped the triple pinch, gets the kill, goes upstairs, and then he does something that I think it goes to show his small inexperience. He then gives that back to Handy. He must have stayed upstairs, burn as much time as possible, pulse to make sure that you're safe, and then you force the others to have a really poisonous choice. Do they force onto the bomb site 3v2? Or do they go hunt you?
Yeah. That's the thing, sometimes again, just staying alive in action is also an action because you're still up and you're a problem. PSG Talon, they call their tactical timeout. That is both teams using theirs. Still got some rounds to be played. And I think right about the nerves. I'm not sure what that was.
He wanted a fist bump.
He's like, slap on the shoulder. And I mean, this is just absurd, right? The Dogabi call efficiency there, the value that they both got, incredible. And then you see there here, Misa overstays. I mean, why do you swing top spiral, right? No.
The shot was amazing to be fair.
It was a great shot.
I don't think Misa saw the IQ on his screen. Like, it was literally straight to his hair, but there was no reason for him to overpeak that. He should have stayed earlier. Even if he stays alive here, just him staying alive is burning so much time. That's too bad. But to be honest, he already brought the round back earlier. What happened was Handy getting his double pick, got FaZe the round here.
10 seconds to
In terms of kills, by the way, FaZe Clan are ahead by 10 kills, and they're also ahead by 2 rounds. How many kills do you need a round to win? 5. So they've basically won 2 extra flawless rounds over PSG Talon in this matchup. And when you look at the top kills on both of the teams, you look on the right side of your screen, PSG Talon. You got 11 kills for Misa, you got 6 kills for Ryder, that's 17. You look on the side of FaZe Clan, you got 17 kills, or rather 16 kills between Handy and Souls, but then the rest of the team has picked it up. PSG Talon's got 2 players with 2 kills, Soldier and JLT, 2 and 7, 2 and 6.
Yeah.
Roy Boy, 3 and 7. Right now, only saving grace of PSG has really been Misa, especially on that first half. But on defense, Misa's not been able to do the same amount of damage, and if Misa can't pick it up, keep it up. Nobody on PSG Talon can pick it up. They're going to be in really rough shape up against a team that has that depth where every single member can outduel a lot of players on a lot of teams. And I mean, one of the best players in Brazil over the last 3 years is Cyber, and he starts off this round by picking off the Kaid of Roy Boy.
Again, they abuse a 1 floor take horizontally. They create movement by using the Lion, by using the Kaebi, and then they abuse it again.
Maybe not the smartest play by Cyber, but almost taking out Misa. Playing down below. Timeout was just taken by PSG Talon, and they immediately lose the first 2 players. Maybe not the result that Fabian wanted.
Gotta settle their nerves right now. I mean, they're choking up right now, making wrong decision after wrong decision.
Ryder missing the fadeaway, and now the nade from Handy. Prevent him from following up on the hatch. Now back up spiral stairs. Ryder and JLT are all that remain for PSG Talon, with half of the round to go.
Yeah, again, very different take than what we saw from PSG Talon. PSG Talon brought the Monty, they had a very clear plan, they were going step by step. Look at FaZe here, they're just lurking around, having spread, abusing the utility from these operators that are creating movement, and then as soon as they see an opportunity to get the frag, they go and they commit to it. Now it's a 4v2. It's actually funny to see they're still aside.
Yeah.
They're still aside because they did not commit to taking the areas where they got the picks.
Changing the pace.
It's been a team of individuals for PSG Talon in this round as FaZe look set to go to series point, and they will do just that.
Wake up! Use your head! We are playing absolute fucking ass! Come on!
This is why he needs 100% on the yelling.
Exactly. I think that just made it from 99 to 100. It's the upgrade right there. I will say though, the way that FaZe they're playing right now, it is very hard as a defending player to figure out what is happening around me, because it feels like they're everywhere and they're nowhere. And we saw in the 2v4, PSG, they're running around pre-aiming windows, doors, up and down, because they don't know where they're being attacked from. And then you pointed out, they're outside the building just holding angles. They lack intel, they lack that team coordination. They need to understand which parts of the map is clear and which parts are under attack right now. They don't seem to know the difference, at least in that previous one.
Now they have a utility-based adaptation. They're bringing the traps, exactly like FaZe were doing it when they were trying to crowd control Misa. Misa was exploiting, actually Misa was having the same playstyle as FaZe. You know, he was lurking around, looking for these opportunities.
Like a little cyber. Yeah.
Exactly, and like a little cyber, and a more effective one in the round. I would say technically. But here, FaZe, what they did is, they brought Legion, they brought Capcan, so they were trying to have the traps. But now, when you look at it, they're doing the exact same thing on the opposite side. FaZe are actually gonna have to face the same utility that they were throwing at Talon when they were lurking. Capcan, Legion, and now they make the start stronger with Asami, Cade, and Goyo to burn more time.
But I think FaZe a better lineup for this, because they get the Jackal, they get the IQ, they actually get things done, whereas PSG, they're missing the IQ half the rounds. They get punished by the Valkyrie cameras, or for example the Capcan traps, and they have self-destruction. They have Jackal for FaZe, they can find those lurkers, and look, 30 seconds, already hunting them down, yellow pings, they got intel.
Oh my. In all reality, he would not have an arm, but Ryder still lives through that engagement with Cyber.
Just using that flash to get away, making sure he's not getting traded. Like again, goes to show how experienced this guy is. It's the small things, the small details. But just like this kind of thing saves your life all the time. These small habits.
Oh no, Vidaking losing it. Doesn't expect the electro shuffle. Cyber now taking some damage at what sounded like either JLT or Soldier's hands, and it's Misa to get the kill on the Souls first. Maybe charisma for Fabian is a little bit higher than we thought, because he has somehow willed his team back into this round after calling them a string of expletives I can't say on this broadcast. Well, I mean, I could, but I won't.
Oh. That was so satisfying to watch.
Yeah. The drone intel is so accurate for FaZe.
Is Cyber retrievable? There we go. Vidaking going over to get him back up, and it's Misa to die as well. It's not just anybody on PSG Talon. That's the 13 kills of your best player so far in this matchup.
It's the drone intel, it's the Jackal as well, and it's the Dokaebi. All of it. It's all made to make you clear quicker and to actually get that opening engagement. Now it's 4v4, and they can start working the site. I think it's going to be vertical play and then transition into an execute. Now my issue is they have Ibana, which means they won't go for a garage take here. It has to be a zero take, and they go down the stairs.
They don't really have a choice, and if PSG Talon are smart about this, they should know that there's going to be a backside attack coming. Of course, maybe one backstab on the yellow staircase, but they should rotate their players. And you see right now, everyone's ready for this. 3 players waiting for the push, just getting that crossfire step and saying, I'm going to hold this corner, you're going to hold that corner, wait for FaZe, play together.
Rubber will hit the road. It's Handy on 12 kills, looking to do more than Misa, who carries the most out of everybody. So, a bit of a lag right now on FaZe Clan as they dot their I's, cross their T's. There goes Roy Boy. KDS has another close by. Soldier looking to pounce on him. Looking for more than that. The fire will stop Handy from making his advance, but he picked up a 13th kill. Soldier waiting. Vidaking holding on to that diffuser. Handy takes some damage from the fire. It's all under the shoulders of JTL as Soldier's been dropped. Vidaking needs to pull off the plant. Handy needs to watch for it as JLT found an opening. He has, but Handy gets the final kill. FaZe Clan, the 4th team to clinch a spot on the main stage on Friday. The surprise that PSG Talon has been, well, they're still around. They'll have one more opportunity to qualify tomorrow.
It's also the best team that PSG has ever played as a roster, so a massive learning experience because their weaknesses, they were very clearly exposed in both Oregon and Consulate.
I think overall they can be happy with themselves too. It should have been closer than the scoreboard shows. I think lots of the rounds, they actually had the right adaptation, probably not the right execution of it, but hey, they're playing against one of the best teams in the world. From where they've come to where they are right now, they can be proud of themselves. And it's not finished yet.
No, of course
it's not.
FaZe Clan did not go perfect, by the way, here in the playoffs. Like, they have not. So there is obviously some deficiencies for the Brazilian team. And, well, I mean, if what Callout said to you the other day is correct, everybody looks beatable, including FaZe Clan. An excellent, excellent showing by PSG Talon up to this point. And by grace of God, they have one more chance. We'll see if they go tomorrow. An impressive showing by FaZe, and honestly, one of the more masterful showings from FaZe that we've seen here at this event. Well, what does KDS have to say about FaZe Clan's performance? Let's ask him.
Thank you very much to the trio on the desk. And yes, I'm here with KDS to ask and debrief. First of all, congratulations on the win. You're on the main stage again, but you've seen the main stage so many times. What does it feel to you?
The feeling is always amazing, you know, because we work a lot to be in the stage, and grateful we win and we qualify.
All right, now you're on the main stage. Of course, we're still yet to decide other teams that kind of sit in that space. Is there a team that you really want to fight in the quarterfinals?
I think the only team I want to beat in the finals is the BDS. I think BDS in the EU League play very well. And I want them because I think they are the best team with us.
If they can qualify, that is.
Yeah.
So far, not looking too great.
Yeah, I think they will qualify because they are very good. And the finals against them will be very cool to play.
So, well, now, congratulations on a win against Talon. What do you feel was the toughest thing for you during this game? Because it looked like, in general, FaZe were just in control of the match.
Yeah, not so difficult because the only thing I think is the communication we are having. Which in the last rounds, I think we are 5v3 and sometimes go to 3v3, you know, like we give some kills free for them. I think this is the biggest problem of us, and we are working to improve that.
Any other things that you want to let me on that you want to kind of fix or improve before you get to the main stage?
I think this is the most important thing, the communication. We are having very issues with this, and we are going to work on that, only that.
All right, KDS, now that you made it to the main stage, is there anything you'd like to say to the fans out there in English and in Portuguese, of course?
Okay, thank you everyone for watching us and support us. We're very happy to be in the playoff again. E para os fãs brasileiros, muito obrigado aí por assistirem a gente. A gente tá dando a vida aqui para ganhar esse Major aí e vamos para cima aí.
There you go. Muito obrigado, KDS. Congratulations on the win. See you on the main stage. There it is for all you watching at home. You heard it here first. FaZe Clan make it to the stage. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back to you to debrief our game in a moment.